So this is a quick overview of how to add, edit, or delete content. We've already done tutorials on the news items, and success stories is very similar to news items. The other page site content is usually one of two types. They're individual pages, or what Drupal calls books, which are organized collections of content, and those are very good for larger site sections, tiered sections especially, or facts pages, user manuals, troubleshooting guides, things like that, where there's an organized content set and even some directionality in terms of the flow you want the content to roll. So for example, if you go to activities, this is an organized content set. It triggers a few certain things to happen, namely a navigation item over here to come up, as well as one at the bottom of the page. So you can quickly jump here without having to scroll, or if you've been into reading the content and you get down here, you can actually click from there without having to go. The additional thing that it allows you to do is it gives you almost a next link, which is to the next piece in the organized or the structured content flow. So for example, energy sector, or go back to institutional reform, because we're currently on training. So basically, as with all things that we need to edit, first thing we need to do is authenticate ourselves. So we log in, and then if it's a page that exists already and we're just editing it, you just actually go to the page itself, browse the site as you normally would, and then you'll notice some administrative options appeared after you log in, including this navigation that comes out as well. So what we'll do is we'll say we want to edit this main activities page. We want to add a little bit of life to it. Maybe we did some content edits, but now we also want to add an image. So again, there's two ways to insert images. The most common way is using the separate field here for image, or additional images, these fields here. The second way to do it is using this image button inside of the WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get editor. Now the problem with using this one with the WYSIWYG editor is that the thumbnails, and this is not integrated into the thumbnail system and these sorts of things. It's for a lot of reasons, but basically if you want it to be most consistent and there's not some chart, this is best used, the WYSIWYG area would be best used if you want to insert an inline chart or something like that that's part of the content that isn't already like a content piece. So for example, when you add this image here that you see there, that actually comes from the main image here. If I would have inserted that image somewhere in line down here, you wouldn't have all of the automatic kind of handling and processing that happens. So basically, so what we'll do is we'll edit this, and we're going to add an image to it just to give it a little bit of life. I grabbed just a few images. Let's see, there it is. Okay, and so and then we'll upload that image, and you get the little Ajax progress meter. It's nice, doesn't have to reload the page. And then if we wanted to, we could credit the photographer or whatever, just add a description, or just leave it blank. So we're just going to leave it blank. I will go ahead and save this. And now what we'll notice is that when we actually go to the page, that is what the page looks like now. It is embedded. It did, if you notice, it resized it and created a thumbnail for us. I logged out so we can see it with the absence of all those links. And we can still get to the original or larger images of it by clicking on it. So let's say we made a mistake, or we needed to delete that page. Deleting is just is the same as editing. We would come to edit, and then towards the bottom we have this delete option. And we will be asked, are you sure you want to delete that content? And we would say yes. Now in this instance, this is the top of an organized content set, so you'll get an additional warning that says, are you sure you're going to delete the book and its contents? Now there are daily backups and revisions. Obviously we look ahead at those sorts of things, but you do that's this how you would delete one. If we wanted to create one, especially within the content, create a piece of content, especially within the context of the organized content sets. And so creating a page is just as simple, basically. We just would go to, once we're logged in, we go to the create content. We're going to create a book page, because the book page is the organized content set that we're talking about. We'd give it a title. Let's say Infotech Training, whatever tags we're going to give them, and content goes here. And because this is part of the book, we want to make sure it goes in the right place in the outline, so we're going to say let's put it under activities, and now we notice the parent item comes in. This is a parent item of training. And then the weight deals with how you would sort it. If it doesn't sort the way you want it to, you can edit that. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and publish that content, and we will then notice it is then integrated into the organized content set, the book. So now underneath training, we notice Infotech here as well as here as a sub item. And obviously this is a piece that we don't need, so we'll go ahead and delete it, in which case we'll give you a quick show of how that happens as well. Delete. Are you sure? Cannot be undone. The only time you're going to need your IT people really is if you actually delete something you shouldn't have, and they would have to dig into some of your reversions. Reverting to reversions, however, can be done through an administrative interface, so we'll create a separate tutorial for that. So that's how you create and edit content.